What is up, everybody? Today's video, I thought that, I did a lot of top 10 lists already, and it was movies and games and stuff like that. And I thought that a good one would be my top 10 favorite video game characters, seeing as this is a gaming channel. So I, I just wanted to tell you guys who my top 10 favorite video game characters of all time are, and that's what I'm going to do today. So stick around and find out. Alright, so to kick things off, let's start at number 10. As you guys have probably noticed on my channel, I'm somebody that loves playing Apex Legends. And you guys know that I have a certain sense of humor and I enjoy certain jokes and stuff. So obviously, when it comes to Apex Legends, my number 10 on this list, favorite video game character, is Mirage from Apex Legends. Loading into the game the first time, I didn't really know what the characters were all about. And the minute that I heard all of Mirage's voice lines and the way that he kind of just cracks jokes at the most inappropriate time and stuff like that, I love the character, and that is why I'm a Mirage main as well. I love the character. I think his abilities are pretty awesome, and I don't know, he's just, to me, he's one of the coolest characters on the game, personality wise. So yeah, at number 10, I had no choice. I had to put Mirage on this list.
Liberation from the IMC brought chaos to the Outlands, and the revival of an old blood sport. Some legends fight for fortune, others answers. But we shall all be forged in the glorious realm.
Mirage, quiet.
Coming in at number 9 is Connor Kenway from Assassin's Creed. And what I love about Connor is, I loved all the Assassin's Creed games, obviously. But when Assassin's Creed 3 released, I got the game, and you were used to a certain type of game and to a certain type of play style. And when Connor was, introduced, it's like the atmosphere kind of changed, and in a very good way. I really enjoyed, playing as Connor. I really enjoyed discovering his story and his background and all of that. And he became one of my favorite assassins. So Connor Kenway has to be on this list, and he is, to me personally, a very, very, very cool assassin, and I really enjoyed the game so much. Coming in at number 8 is Lara Croft herself, the Tomb Raider. And the reason why she's on this list is I played Tomb Raider on the PS1. I mean, that's where it all started. And I continued playing Tomb Raider right up until, the latest one. And, she's just a pretty badass character. I enjoyed the storylines. I enjoyed the backgrounds of all the other characters that they introduced. Her trying to find like her dad and everything that had to do with, his disappearance and what she discovers, and she kind of discovers herself along the way, is actually just very, very cool to me. So yeah, I have to say that, playing Tomb Raider growing up and going into the new ones, I really like that they kind of kept the story going with like how they did. And the character development in the game is awesome. So yeah, I do love playing Tomb Raider, and Lara Croft had to be on this list, that's for sure.
Only one chance.
Coming in at number 7 is SpiderMan, the PS4 Spider-Man. Both Miles Morales and the previous Spider-Man. they are both really well portrayed in the game. And what I liked is, I like the humor that they brought in for both characters, because Spider-Man is a very humorous character as well. And I enjoyed the fact that, they didn't go for something that had already been done. They kind of made it their own thing, and that's what made the game so much more fun and worthwhile to play for me as well, is the fact that, you watched the characters kind of grow and kind of just experience stuff in their lives, and it made you feel for the character. So I really enjoyed Spider-Man. I really enjoyed the Spider-Man comics, the Spider-Man movies, and obviously I enjoy the Spider-Man game, so he had to be on this list.
How do you like my new suit?
Dashing. Where'd you get it?
It's an exclusive club.
Coming in at number 6 is Sam Fisher from the Splinter Cell games. Now, Splinter Cell, I played from the very first Splinter Cell, and the reason that I love Sam Fisher so much is, there's a lot of movies where there's spies and there's espionage and there's all of these things, but Sam Fisher kind of set the benchmark for that in gaming, I believe. And the whole story of Sam Fisher, and you discovering the stuff that he has to go through and the lengths that he has to go to sometimes protect the ones he loves and his country and all of that, it just made for such a beautiful game that I spent hours on the Splinter Cell games just immersing myself in the world because it was that fun. So Splinter Cell, I have to put it on this list because it is just an amazing game, all of them. So yeah, Sam Fisher has to be on this list.
So tell me about Sarah, Grim. Tell me why you lied to me.
Number 5 would have to be Captain Price, because who doesn't love Captain Price? I mean, I grew up with Call of Duty, and since Modern Warfare, I love the character of Captain Price. He's witty, he's badass, he can be funny, and he's one of those characters that from the minute you see him in the first game, this is going to be iconic. He's going to be an iconic character, and I really enjoyed watching the story of Call of Duty unfold with Captain Price in it. Obviously, the new Modern Warfare with Captain Price, they tell you a bit more about the character and all of that, and it's awesome. So yeah, Captain Price really had to be on this list because he is just awesome. So yes, number 5, Captain Price.
The rules have changed. There's a fine line between right and wrong. And somewhere in the shadows, they'll send us in to find it.
126 actual. Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Number 4 would have to be Agent 47 from the Hitman games, because also I grew up with Hitman. I played all the Hitman games right up until the latest one, and he is just such a badass character. I mean, the cool thing about Hitman is there's so much more to Hitman than him just being a hitman. He's got his own backstory, he's got his own painful past, he's got his own painful memories, he's got his own stuff that he kind of needs to work through and sort out in the middle of him kind of, doing assassinations and stuff like that. And that for me made a very fun game. Also, the assassination styles that they brought into the games were amazing, especially in the new ones where, you could basically there's just a bunch of ways to assassinate the people. I mean, whether it's from poisoning or freaking shooting them in the head or whatever, it's a fun game. And you know, it's complex enough that you want to keep playing, yet fun enough that you don't feel like, okay, I want to stop now. So it is really just, it's a fun game and it's a fun character. So I really think that, you know, he had to be on this list, and he is quite high on the list because he is really one of my faves. So Agent 47, definitely.
A shadow client. Someone got rich. The contract was just. That was a sound problem.
I know you don't care about politics, 47. But ICA is neutral, or it has been. Can't allow ourselves to be manipulated. Besides,
It's happened before.
Number 3 is Joel from The Last of Us. The reason why Joel, for me, is such a cool character is, you know, when you play The Last of Us 1, you know, when he loses his daughter, it kind of, you know, it hits you right in the feels. And then he meets Ellie, and, you know, they go on this freaking horrible journey through hell to get her to where she needs to go. And, you know, watching Joel bond with Ellie was really, really cool to me. And you know, his whole story it's sad, but it's actually very, very relatable as well. And you know, I just thought that when they captured Joel's character, they did it so well. And I really did enjoy, you know, seeing the character development between the two and everything. So Joel definitely has to be on the list.
What are you doing?
Killing time.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
I am sure you will figure that out.
Number 2, surprise, surprise, is another Assassin's Creed character. And to me personally, he was the coolest Assassin's Creed character. He was the coolest assassin. And I just don't think that there was anybody better. It's Ezio. You know, Ezio was born in an Assassin's Creed 2, and being an Assassin's Creed fan, I played all of the Assassin's Creed games, but the Ezio games to me were just the best ones. Being that the story was set in a time that I find kind of awesome, and the fact that they brought in an assassin who was witty, but he was charming, but he was also deadly. You know, that was just amazing to me. And Ezio was one of those characters that you never forget. You know, he was a badass from the minute that he emerged in the Assassin's Creed scene. And I love the character of Ezio. So, you know, I love the character so much that I even play his Assassin's Creed games to this day. Sometimes when I'm bored, I just pop the disc in and I play as Ezio because he's cool. So Ezio has to be my number 2, and he is just a brilliant character. Again, just one of the best. That's why I love his character so much. So number 2, Ezio. So my favorite video game character of all time is from my favorite video game of all time. It's Nathan Drake from Uncharted, because he is kind of the embodiment of an awesome character. You know, he has a very painful backstory. He has a very sordid past, but you know, he came up to be a pretty good guy in the end. And you know what I love about Nathan Drake is, you know, his wit is amazing. His sarcasm is on point. His humor is just brilliant. And then, you know, he's a badass just in his own right. You know, he's taken down a lot of bad guys. He has done a lot of things that, you know, Mission Impossible hasn't even done yet. But, you know, that's why I like Nathan Drake, is, you know, the sense of adventure that you get when you play the game, and then, you know, you get this character that just is so cool. You get so invested in his story and everything he does. It just makes it for a worthwhile game. And, you know, he was just so badass. So Nathan Drake, definitely my #1 favorite video game character of all time. And, you know, he was just, he is so cool. So he has to be in the #1 spot. I mean, it's my favorite game as well. So there you guys go.
Is that an ancient Tibetan ritual dagger in your pocket?
Oh, maybe I'm just happy to see you.
Yeah, hello. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, drop a sub. I'd really appreciate it. And let me know in the comments who your favorite video game characters are. I mean, we all have our favorites. We all have our reasons for them being our favorites. So I'd like to know. I'd like to hear from you guys. So that'd be cool to know. I will leave the names of all my social media platforms on the screen. If you guys want to go and follow that, you're more than welcome. I really appreciate you guys helping me out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.